Why you're not addicted to your phone. You're addicted to escaping reality? Have you ever opened your phone without knowing why? Not to call anyone, not to look something up, not even to check the time, just to escape. You tell yourself it's harmless. Just 5 minutes. Just one more scroll. Just one more notification. But then it's dark outside. Your tea's gone cold. You don't remember anything you saw. And you feel empty. Here's a thought that might sound strange at first. You're not addicted to your phone. You're addicted to escaping reality. Let me explain. Because what you think is a digital addiction is actually something far more human. Most people think phone addiction is about the screen, the notifications, the dopamine hits, the endless content. And yes, those things matter. They're part of it. But beneath the surface is something deeper, more unsettling. It's the fact that real life, your actual, physical, messy, imperfect life, has started to feel unbearable compared to the digital one. Reality feels slow, boring, uncertain, sometimes even painful. But your phone? It gives you control. It gives you stimulation. It gives you comfort on demand. And so the moment you feel discomfort, boredom, anxiety, loneliness, doubt, your hand reaches for it like muscle memory. Sometimes you check the time, but forget to check the time. Because you're already inside the app, already halfway through someone else's story, already comparing your life to a curated highlight reel, already avoiding yourself. Let's be honest. How many times have you reached for your phone? Not because you needed it, but because you didn't want to be here. At the dinner table while your partner talks. In bed while your thoughts grow too loud. On the toilet during the only quiet moment of the day. We don't reach for our phones because they're interesting. We reach for them because reality feels overwhelming. And that's not entirely your fault. Social media platforms, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, they're not just tools. They're immersive, highly engineered experiences designed to hijack your brain's reward system. They take every tiny bit of data, what you tap, what you pause on, what makes you angry, what makes you linger, and feed it back to you as a curated mirror of your desires and fears. The algorithm isn't showing you the world, it's showing you your cravings, so you scroll and scroll and scroll. Not to find information, but to find relief. And that's the dangerous part. Because what started as a way to stay connected becomes a way to avoid connection with the world, with people, with yourself. Let me tell you about Sarah. Sarah is 28. She's smart, funny, deeply empathetic. She works hard, reads a lot, cares about big issues, climate change, inequality, mental health. But when she wakes up, the first thing she touches isn't her journal or her partner's hand. It's her phone. She tells herself she's just checking the news, catching up on messages. But 45 minutes later, she's angry at the world, comparing her life to strangers and already behind on her morning. She feels drained. She feels numb. But she keeps going. At lunch, she scrolls between bites. At work, she checks her feed between tasks. On the train home, she scrolls again, not because she needs to, but because silence feels unbearable. She starts noticing something strange. The more she scrolls, the less real life satisfies her. Books feel too slow. Conversations feel too awkward. Nature feels too quiet. But her feed, it's constant, polished, reactive. It gives her the feeling of movement, without having to move. She doesn't realize it, but her brain is being trained, not to think, not to reflect, but to react. And the scariest part? She thinks this is normal. Now multiply Sarah by billions. An entire generation growing up not just online, but inside an invisible psychological machine, one that rewards outrage over nuance, speed over depth, certainty over curiosity. So when we say we're addicted to our phones, what we're really saying is, I've forgotten how to be with myself. And the platforms love that, because your discomfort is profitable. Your boredom, monetized. Your loneliness, an engagement opportunity. Your fear, a viral moment waiting to happen. That's why no matter how much screen time you try to cut, it doesn't solve the root problem. Because you're not just trying to quit your phone. You're trying to quit escape. But escaping is easier than healing. Easier than sitting in silence and asking, why am I so anxious today? Easier than dealing with grief, or loneliness, or uncertainty. Easier than making that difficult phone call. Easier than forgiving yourself for not being perfect. The phone doesn't judge you. It just distracts you. That's why it wins, again and again. But there is another way. It starts by noticing. That subtle flick of the hand when you're overwhelmed. That twitch of discomfort when there's nothing to stimulate you. The moment when you check your phone just to avoid eye contact with a stranger, or worse, with yourself. Notice it, sit with it, question it. Because the goal isn't to throw away your phone or shame yourself for using it. The goal is to remember what life feels like without escape, to take walks without podcasts, to eat meals without scrolling, to wake up without grabbing a screen, to allow yourself to be bored, to be still. Because boredom is not your enemy. Boredom is your brain stretching its limbs. It's the birthplace of insight, of imagination, of real thought. You know what's dangerous? Never being bored. Never sitting long enough with a question that doesn't have an easy answer. Never noticing that your attention has been colonized by someone else's profit model. We need to reclaim that. And that's hard, because it's not just a personal issue, it's cultural. We live in a world that rewards escape, that tells us discomfort is a problem and fast is better. But the deepest things in life, real love, meaningful work, inner peace, they grow in slowness, in reflection, in discomfort. So ask yourself this. When was the last time you sat in silence and felt your own thoughts? Not scrolled, not consumed, not performed. Just sat with yourself. If that idea scares you, it's a sign that somewhere along the way your inner life got outsourced. And here's the beautiful part. You can reclaim it, because your attention is still yours. Your thoughts are still yours. Your ability to be here, truly here, is still within reach. You just have to stop running. Your phone is not the enemy, but it's not your friend either. It's a tool, and like any tool, it can either build you or bury you. So the next time you feel the pull, the ache to scroll, to escape, to numb, pause. Put the phone down. Breathe. Ask yourself not, what am I missing online? But what am I running from in real life? And then be brave enough to face it. Because what's waiting for you outside the screen isn't boredom. It's life. Unfiltered, uncomfortable, beautiful, and real.